here on IceTime.TV after a GB defeat against Norway, but a very impressive performance. And I'm joined by assistant coach Tom Watkins. And Tom, 2 days against Norway, 2 games, 2 defeats, but you must be very encouraged.
Yeah, I think so. We didn't really have a great deal of preparation time, just one practice with each team. But it's been a great opportunity to look at a number of different players and perhaps some guys who wouldn't get an opportunity to wear their GB shirt. So two impressive performances, like you say.
Lots of guys making their debuts, particularly tonight. Players like Jackson Whistle. We looked at Sam Duggan, who's made his debut over the 2 games. Who's stood out for you?
I think the name you just said there, Sam Duggan. He's a player that we know well through the GB20s. He's still part of the GB20s team, and to step up into this level has been excellent. He's in a great club back in Sweden, and they're doing a very, very good job with his development. And he's going to be very, very close to this team.
How useful is this international break for you? You guys don't normally get use of this. You maybe get a couple of games after playoff weekend, going straight into the World Championship. This must be an excellent opportunity just to get the guys together, and the 3 coaches as well, Pete Russell, yourself and Corey Nielsen, a chance to mould your group.
It's a great opportunity to look at some different players and put them in this environment. You're looking at Norway, who's 11th in the world, so they've got to come out and they've got to compete. I think the 3 days together, or through the groups, is going to be really good preparation. Just from being able to put some small parts into our systems, to implement some part of the structure that we want to play with, and hopefully when we get into April, things are going to be a little bit ahead of where they were previously.
I've got to ask you, you're an EPL coach with Telford, obviously. Pete Russell is at the moment with Milton Keynes, Corey Nielsen with the Elite League. Seems this season there's been a little bit of a move to have those leagues work a little bit closer together, and I assume if that happens, that can only benefit you guys and Team GB as a whole.
I think as a coaching group, we all talk as one another in terms of moving the leagues closer together. Not something that I'm too aware of at this point in time, but like you say, the coaching staff, the group, there's a lot of communication that goes on between all 3.
Now, obviously, World Championships in Belfast this year on home ice. You guys have been very close the last 2 years. The ultimate goal is, of course, to move up the groups. How realistic a target is that?
It has to be a realistic target. Like you said, we've been very close over the last 2 years. We've slipped at the last hurdle, which is bitterly disappointing on the days. I think we've been very proud of the performance of the 2 World Championships we've been to, but ultimately it's about making that gold medal and reaching the next level.
I've got to ask you, and maybe this is not a question as a coach you want to be thrown at you, but I asked Andy Buxton earlier, in terms of somebody involved in the GB programme, is there one thing that could help the most? Would it be a TV deal for exposure? Would it be more money for junior development? What would help you guys? Would it be more preparation time, more games like this?
Are we talking long-term for the GB team, or
medium to
long-term
long
for hockey? Because it's a whole can of worms.
It's a whole can of worms, I know, and I'm putting you on the spot, Tom, but I suppose medium to long-term.
I think if you're just looking purely from the GB perspective right now, it would be more time together as a group. Not always easy to do, obviously, because everybody's got league commitments and their own professional jobs with other teams. More money, more coaching across the lower age groups for the development of younger players, and some opportunities for these guys to play. And they come out here today against a team like Norway. There's a lot of young guys on this ice pad tonight who've done a great job.
I think we've got to finish by talking about Jack Prince, man of the match tonight, 2 goals. That first one was a little interesting, but he did the right things. He was crashing the net. He was stick handling very well. He's a big body presence who can play on the power play. He's somebody who's going to be a big asset going forward.
I think what Jack's line did tonight really well was they were really heavy on the forecheck, and like you said, they managed to turn a couple of pucks over. They were quick on taking them back to the net, and they just made a use of themselves around that scoring area at the front of the goal, and it paid dividends.
Back to the day job now, Tom. Back to Telford and EPL fixtures this weekend.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thank you.
Tom, thank you for joining us on IceTime TV. Congratulations on 2 good performances, and we build towards Belfast.
Thank you. You're welcome.